Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Would you please sit? As Chancellor of this distinguished university, it's my very, very great pleasure to welcome you to the ceremony for the graduands of the Department of Clinical, Pharmaceutical and Biological Science. I should start by introducing you to the platform party, and I welcome on my immediate left Dr. Renata Crome, who will be receiving an honorary degree of Doctor of Science, and next to her, Dr. Richard Southern, Dean of the School of Life and Medical Sciences. On my immediate right, Professor John Senior, Pro-Vice Chancellor for Research and Enterprise, and on my far right, Mrs. Julie Kelly, Academic Registrar, who today is carrying the university's mace. I'd particularly like to welcome those who are graduating today, their relations and friends, a very important part of what I hope will become a memorable day for the rest of your lives. We will now proceed with the presentation of awards, and I have the greatest of pleasure in calling upon Professor Senior to read a citation for the conferment of an honorary degree on Dr. Renata Crome.
Chancellor, graduands and guests, it is my pleasure to read the citation for the presentation of the Honorary Award of Doctor of Science on Renata Crome. Renata is a pharmaceutical specialist who has played a key role in the scientific and clinical development, regulatory approval and commercialization of countless new medicines. Renata has also applied this considerable skill and knowledge for public benefit, both with Cancer Research UK and then when called upon by the UK government to form the UK Research and Innovation sponsored team of pharmaceutical experts developing treatments for COVID-19. Born in Oldham, Lancashire, Renata spent much of her childhood in London and was a pupil of Our Lady's Convent High School for Girls in Stamford Hill. By her own admission, she was a sickly child and was forever seeing the doctor. This formative experience piqued her curiosity about medicine, and as she progressed through her education, so she began to specialise in the sciences. And this led to her enrolling on a BSc in biochemistry at Chelsea College, London, later King's College, and then an MSc in analytical chemistry. Renata's studies proved a natural gateway to a position in academic research at St Thomas's Hospital, London, where she was able to apply her knowledge to projects investigating changes to the biochemical components of the heart. This included work to improve cardioplegic processes, the act of stopping the heart when it is operated upon. And she was also invited to join the pioneering UK heart transplant programme. In 1986, Renata was headhunted by the leading biotech company Roche. At Roche, she became a renowned specialist in the research and clinical development of new drugs and the processes by which they would gain regulatory approval and are brought to market. And as she progressed to more senior roles, so her portfolio expanded. Among the products that she would help to deliver included the influenza drug Tamiflu, which would go on to record annual sales measured in billions of dollars, and the cancer medicine Avastin. By 2015, Renata was head of early development with strategic responsibility for a portfolio of 100 drugs, 250 staff, and an annual budget of 500 million. By that year, a new opportunity arose, one that offered her a chance to join Cancer Research UK and use her extensive experience for public good. Taking up a position as Head of Study, Project and Portfolio Management, Renata led the charity's team of drug development specialists and its portfolio of 25 new cancer treatments, and played a leading role in the decision-making process around investments in new medicines. Renata's pharmaceutical expertise also drew her into governmental circles, such as when she assisted UK life sciences preparations for Brexit. But it was the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic that presented her with her next major career challenge. Recruited by Professor Sir John Bell, Renata became Programme Director of the UK Research and Innovation government-sponsored programme of Phase 2 treatments for COVID-19. Leading a team of pharmaceutical experts, she oversaw the testing of around 50 novel and repurposed agents that might be used to treat patients of the disease. Renata's commitment to sharing her expertise has also been evident in the host of other voluntary roles that she has undertaken in recent years. She sits on the scientific advisory boards for several biotech companies and acts as scientific advisor and mentor at the Advanced Life Sciences Consultancy Group. She is a trustee of the P10 Research Foundation and a lecturer in drug development and phase 1 clinical development at the Institute of Clinical Research. And for the past 3 years, she has also been a member of the Policy and Communications Committee of the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Medicine and chair of their Infectious Disease Expert Group. This generosity of time and experience is also evident in Renata's efforts to support her local community in Nebworth. Whether it's volunteering for a local garden charity that works with a wide range of disadvantaged young people, orchestrating litter pickups and open garden events, or providing support to vulnerable members of the community during the pandemic and volunteering at her local COVID vaccination centre, Renata stepped up to make a profound difference to thousands of people. It is in recognition of Renata's achievements in the pharmaceutical sector and her selfless contribution to community cohesion that the university would like to confer its highest honour. Chancellor, I have the honour to present Renata Crome for an Honorary Doctorate of Science. Thank you.
Pleasure to be able to call upon Dr. Crome to address us.
So, Chancellor, graduates and guests, I'm deeply appreciative to have been nominated for the Honorary Doctorate. I would like to thank the Vice-Chancellor, Pro-Chancellor, the Dean, and everyone involved in my nomination for this recognition of my services to medical and pharmaceutical research over the last 50 years. It has indeed been a lifetime's work, as I started my undergraduate studies in biochemistry at the University of London 50 years ago this month. Being awarded that first degree was a huge achievement, a big milestone, as it was the first step of my personal journey in pharmaceutical and medical research. Hertfordshire has a very strong reputation for life sciences, and I'm only one of more than 77,000 people in Hertfordshire working in life sciences to help support and improve the health of people worldwide. There have been some outstanding scientific breakthroughs achieved by Hertfordshire scientists. As a pharmaceutical specialist, I would just like to mention a few of the contribution of hundreds of new treatments developed by some of the pharmaceutical companies based in Hertfordshire. Notably, GlaxoSmithKline, based in Stevenage, and Roche, where I worked for 30 years in Welwyn Garden City, have both been awarded the Prix Gallienne, which is the pharmaceutical equivalent of the Nobel Prize, on several occasions. I had the opportunity to conduct some of the clinical trials on 3 of the Roche drugs that won the Prix Gallienne, namely Inverase for HIV in 1995, Herceptin for breast cancer in 2002, and Neupogen, which stimulates white blood cell production in cancer patients, in 2004. In my 30 years working at Roche, I had many opportunities to work in and lead project teams spanning the whole spectrum of therapeutic areas, including infectious diseases, cardiovascular, central nervous system, but most of my time was spent on developing new treatments for cancer. I'd like to share some of my memorable experiences with you. When I joined Roche in 1985, I was still participating in the UK pioneering heart transplant programme at Harefield Hospital. And my role was to stand quietly in the corner of the operating theatre during the heart transplant operation, being led by Professor Magdi Yacoub, and wait for the helicopter to land with the new heart. As soon as the old heart was removed, small samples were taken for me to place on dry ice and rush back to Roche so we could study them to help develop cardioprotective drugs. Another pioneering programme that I worked on was Inverase, which was the first antiretroviral treatment for HIV, the pandemic that swept the world in the 1980s. The entire Roche project team working on this were based in Welwyn Garden City. And after we conducted all the clinical trials to demonstrate that our new drug was effective and importantly safe, we all travelled to Washington and defended the results of the clinical trials in front of the American Food and Drug Administration in a 2-day meeting, which resulted in their approval to provide this new treatment to HIV patients worldwide. My next pandemic project was the development of a treatment called Tamiflu for influenza. You may be aware that whilst seasonal flu occurs every year, every 20 or so years, the virus can mutate into a very severe strain, such that it becomes a pandemic, killing thousands of people worldwide. This was a unique project. We undertook 22 clinical trials in 2 years all over the world, following the flu into the northern hemisphere, into the southern hemisphere, back into the northern hemisphere, bringing into Roche meters and meters of paper containing the data. At times, there would be 30 meters of paper stacked up in the corridors that we were tripping over. And we had to carefully review that data page by page by page. Of course, now all that is done electronically. But usually it takes around 10 years to develop a new drug, and we developed Tamiflu in 2 years and still hold the record for the fastest drug development programme. Not only was this a great achievement for the Roche Tamiflu team, but I would also like to acknowledge the help and support from all our families who supported us in the background. My children, Christopher and Stephanie, here in the audience today, were aged 8 and 7 at this time, and their job every morning was to telephone in to the centralised patient recruitment system and listen to the electronic lady who told them how many flu patients had been recruited into the trials overnight. In Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, South America, Europe, and write the numbers down for me, so that I could drive into work with the latest numbers at my fingertips. My husband, Stephen, also in the audience today, not only had a very responsible role at GlaxoSmithKline, and supported me throughout my whole career, but also looked after the children when I went on those long-distance trips to set up the clinical trials. Both of our children have followed us into the life sciences industry, Both received an outstanding science education at John Henry Newman School in Stevenage, and both went on to study at St George's Medical School in London. Christopher is now a consultant orthopaedic surgeon a long way from Hertfordshire up in Glasgow. And Stephanie still lives in Hertfordshire, and she manages a discovery and research laboratory at AstraZeneca in Cambridge. Finally, just when I thought I could retire in March 2020, I received a phone call at 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning from a member of the government asking me to set up and lead a research team responsible for repurposing existing treatments to mitigate the life-threatening effects of COVID. And we evaluated a large number of drugs and did indeed find a number that were effective. I've talked enough about my life in research, and I would like to extend my warmest congratulations to all the graduates and postgraduates who are receiving their degrees today. I know how hard you've worked and studied to pass successfully, and I include in those congratulations all the parents, friends and families who've supported you. This is the start of the next phase of your own personal journey. There remains so much to do in pharmaceutical research to find new treatments for cancer, for rare diseases, and for many other diseases with unmet needs. You will discover important new therapies, using exciting new technologies, and a career that will bring you so much personal satisfaction, working with like-minded individuals to improve and save lives worldwide. After 5 decades, I can thoroughly recommend a career in pharmaceutical and medical research, and I wish you all so much success in all the paths you choose to follow. So it's over to you guys now.
Thank you, Dr. Crome. We shall now receive the graduates of the Department of Clinical, Pharmaceutical and Biological Science. Graduates are presented by a member of the academic staff from their school or department. I first call upon Dr. Kunla Asai.
School of Life and Medical Science, Department of Clinical, Pharmaceutical and Biological Sciences, Doctor of Philosophy. Christopher Terence Agwell has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in recognition of a program of work entitled Medical Simulation, Staff Experience in Simulation-Based Training on Acute Kidney Injury Management. Chancellor, Dr. Christopher Terence Agwell.
Doctor of Philosophy. Mohammed Abu Shamat has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in recognition of a program of work entitled Developing Thermoresponsive Gelators from Complex Polymer Mixtures for Bioprinting and Pharmaceutical Applications. Chancellor, Dr. Mohammed Abu Shamat. Doctor of Philosophy. Rosamund Atta Mensah has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in recognition of a program of work entitled Generation of a Drug-Incorporated Membrane for Biomedical Applications. Chancellor, Dr. Rosamund Atta Mensah. Doctor of Philosophy, Georgia Vaccaro has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in recognition of a programme of work entitled Characterization of Psychoactive Substances on Paper using Various Analytical and Chemometrics Approaches. Chancellor, Dr. Georgia Vaccaro.
Doctor of Philosophy. Valeria Catalani has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in recognition of a programme of work entitled Assessing the Pharmacological Properties of Novel Psychoactive Substances, NPS, identified online, in silico studies on designer-benzodiazepines and novel synthetic opioids. Chancellor, Dr. Valeria Catalani.
Doctor of Philosophy. Sophia Sharif has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in recognition of a programme of work entitled The Use and Impact of Cognitive Enhancers Within Higher Education in the United Arab Emirates. Chancellor, Dr. Sophia Sharif.
Doctor of Philosophy with industry experience, James Andrew Fortune has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with industry experience in recognition of program of work entitled Understanding the Interactions Between Former Stomach Cancer Pathogens, Leptospira maculans and Leptospira bagullosa, and lattice board pathogen, Pereza perziza brassica of Orchid rape, Brassica lepers. Chancellor, Dr. James Andrew Fortune.
Doctor of Philosophy with Industry Experience. Kuvil Patel has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with Industry Experience in recognition of a programme of work entitled Oral Sustained Release Microparticles for Patients with Dysphagia, a Paradigm Adaptation in Verster Coating. Chancellor, Dr. Kuvil Patel.
Master of Pharmacy degree, Sarah Abdul Samad. Muna Abdi Rahman. Victory Adams. Shireen Adele Dowd. Winner of a Krishna Patel Memorial Prize, Naima Aiden. Rishla Owasua Agiman. Amina Amadi. Amina Ahmed. Marian Ahmed. Raja Abdari Ahmed. Zara Al Hakim. Winner of a Gold Go Hearts Award, Kainut Ali. Tosif Ali. Elaha Alizi. Ruwaida Al-Kaitab. Hussein Al-Madawi. Mariam Al-Safar. Winner of a Gold Go Hearts Award, Doa Al-Salani. Manar Al-Tamimi. Aisha Anwar. Felix Aranda do Cabo. Christian Arthur. Zakaya Aladdin. Miriam Bamijan. Ali Barzenji. Agathi Bompai. Valentina Bozorgzad Mogin. Malia Jagpar. Noor Shuei Tare. Marion Terkuo Coleman. Rola Zuhair Dadal. Ellie Daniels. Elnaz Dinpavar. Rayan El Amin. Aisha. Solomon Fiin Foloa Fawala. Emerald Forsyth. Unisa Fraz. Fatima Gashami. Winner of a Gold Go Hearts Award, Ikra Gowri. Amir Borujani. Salma Halan. Mohammed Hashim. Masa Hidari. Zakaria Hussain. Nandi Hove. Suhaib Siddiq Iqbal. Rama Isa. Dion Jacob. Abita Jayasilan. GC Jose. Nikki Kalani. Hassan Malaka Sirisena. Zohar Khan. Zura Karoti. Abby Lambert. Winner of a Gold Go Hearts Award, Aliyah Majidzada. Yasaman. Besarta Mikolovsky. Jasmine Mitchell Blake. Tala Al-Mutahar. Hadika Nabi. Gayathri Nair. Yasmin Nusehi. Elnaz Nasrallapur. Junaid Nazir. Saima Nazreen. Zohal Nurzai. Andrea Obeng. David Ogwezi Osai Obekene. Samuel Owino. Suchin Poon. Winner of a university prize, Jenna Sage. Mohammed Shabazz. Habiba Shakiri. Abbas Shalal. Anujiya Sivakaran. Winner of a Krishna Patel Memorial Prize, Kirsty Spicer. Rebka Sultan. Muna Tamang. EJ Ugboaja. Amran Wasame. Anusha Wirasakara Mudanyaselege. Annika Yadev.
Bachelor of Science degree in Pharmaceutical Health Science, Mohammed Abukar Abdurrahman. Musab Omar. Bachelor of Science degree in Pharmaceutical Science, Uthman Ahmed. Najma Ahmed. Winner of a Bronze Go Herts Award, Narges Bakhtani. Tiago Moraes. Rafiq S.K. Dan Othman. Tia de Cruz. Hasiba Farid. Will Gain. Ambreen Hussain. Ikra Salah Khalif. Sumia Lehwawi. Shiza Malek. Shiva Mazar. Pedro Palermo. Hajja Falah Mohammed. Oganakewa Claudia Ojo. Amrachi Operum. Winner of the University Prize, Robert George Payne. Tuba Shabazz. Ariola Khemali.
It's now my great pleasure to call upon Robert Payne to address us on behalf of the graduates.
Chancellor Lord Salisbury, graduates and guests. Firstly, I'd like to congratulate Dr. Renata for receiving an Honorary Doctor of Science. Many say that the jump between GCSEs to A-levels and college is greater than that between A-levels to an undergraduate degree, but I think this is untrue. There are academic similarities, this is for sure, but there are worlds apart when it comes to personal development. Everyone in this room would have changed in some way, whether that was their work ethic, improving in their confidence, or finding lifelong friends. The University of Hertfordshire is evidently a catalyst for change and evolution. If you think back to that first day when you were getting your terrible photo on your ID card, you were probably pretty nervous, even if you didn't show it, and unsure whether it was going to be the right choice for you. And in the years at university since that first day, you've evolved as a person and into someone you can hopefully be very proud of. This graduation ceremony is celebrating the achievements of two sets of students from the pharmaceutical world. One side being our pharmacy students, and the other, including me, being the pharmaceutical science students. The world we are about to dive headfirst into is one of great importance for humanity, and ones where exceptional developments in human health are always on the horizon, It was only 2 centuries ago when hand washing became mandatory in hospitals, morphine was used for a common headache cure, and pharmacists handed out more herbs and home remedies than scientifically backed medicines. We are the new wave of scientists and pharmacists that the world is always in dire need for, and we will make our individual mark on it. Whilst attending the University of Hertfordshire and completing our respective courses, everyone would face their own challenges. But one challenge that faced us all was COVID. This disrupted the usual university experience, with most lectures going online, the lack of in-person exams, and the reduced number of staggering walks back to the dorms after a few too many cheap drinks. And yet, even the challenges that we faced, along with a worldwide pandemic, couldn't stop us from achieving a goal many dream about today. Today, whilst being with your family and friends in our Harry Potter-esque robes and hats, take a second to really take it all in and realise the achievement that you have just smashed. I want to finish by thanking the group of people that guided us through our academic achievements, our lecturers. They put so much time and effort into teaching the next generation, year in and year out, and we need to take some time out of our day to really thank them. Trying to teach us lot probably isn't very easy, but it was probably especially harder because we were all on mute with our cameras turned off during our online lectures during COVID. They really do and have allowed us to achieve our goals and push us to be the greatest versions of ourselves. Thank you, Chancellor Lord Salisbury, for receiving the students.
Thank you, Mr. Payne. If you'll allow me, I'd like to renew my congratulations to all of you who've graduated with such distinction today, and to wish you the very best of luck for the future. I've got some other people I'd like to congratulate as well, and I'm sure you who are graduating will understand why. First of all, if I may, the faculty sitting behind me, who are the key to your success and to whom your success is perhaps the greatest reward that they can get. I hope that I don't misspeak there, but it must be true to see such remarkable success coming from their school. The other group of people, clearly, are your family and friends. They're obviously extremely well represented here today, from the whoops of joy and cheers that you elicited as you came up on the stage to receive your certificates. So I think we owe them, as graduates, always an enormous debt of gratitude. I remember back in prehistory when I went through the same experience as an undergraduate at another university, how important that was, and I think we owe them perhaps a cheer and a clap in return. That was a suggestion greeted with almost complete silence. And of course, I wish you all the very best of luck in the years to come during your professional lives and indeed in all the other activities that you are indulging in. You will, I know, appreciate that you are graduating from an increasingly important, successful, and interesting institution, which is this university. And I think you'll find in the world outside, as you begin your professional careers, that there is an increasing number of alumni of this university who are themselves making the places where they work and the professions in which they work increasingly important, successful, and interesting. You will be adding to what is already a formidable network, both nationally and internationally, of graduates of the University of Hertfordshire. And of course, I'm entirely confident that, like those who've gone out from here before you, you will become at least as distinguished in your own fields in the future. That you will be able to do so is, of course, essentially because of your own talents and your own abilities. But I think it's also because of the education that you've received here, which has honed those talents. I do hope that once you have left, you'll remain in touch with us. It's a cliche to say that the world is changing fast, but it's nonetheless, like many cliches, true. And I think that you can do a terrific job in helping us to ensure that what we do here helps that change to be of a nature that adds to human achievement rather than leading us, as we sometimes are told is likely to happen, into a dystopian world. For that, indeed, is what a university can do. A university is there to advance the sum of human knowledge, of course. But it is also there, and I think universities like this one are perhaps most attuned to this idea, to applying the results of that knowledge for practical purposes. And in order to be able to do that, it needs to open minds rather than close them. It needs to encourage debate, not close it down. In other words, it needs to teach people to think, to have the self-confidence to give voice to their conclusions, however unfashionable they might be. And above all, to do so not only with conviction, but with courtesy. If we here have helped you to use your minds in that way, we will have equipped you for a successful life, which can indeed make a contribution to the future, not only of this country, but others. It's sometimes useful to remind ourselves that the received wisdom of the day is very often right. But if you look at the great advances in thought and technology, they very often, perhaps more often than not, been achieved by people who have challenged existing shibboleths rather than merely accepting them. So, as you go out from here to celebrate, which I hope you will do with enormous enthusiasm, I would like to congratulate you on your achievements at the University of Hertfordshire and wish you good luck for the future. But please keep in touch, and please remember that what this university, above all else, will have done is have taught you to think for yourselves and to be robust in your confidence in defending your opinions. Good luck to all of you. There is a reception in the marquee outside, and the only thing I would ask you to do is to stand while the graduation procession leaves the Abbey.